Hello everyone. Previously, we had discussed about the JavaScript type checking and type of quirks. Today, we'll be discussing about the advanced promises patterns such as chaining, parallel execution. Right. So, if you are knowing the concept of promises, then you should be knowing the basically the concepts of promise chaining as well as the parallel execution as well. Right. So, usually this will be asked in the interviews most of the times if you are giving interviews for the JavaScript or the React or the Angular. So basically promises chaining and the parallel execution, most probably this question will be asked, right? So let's discuss uh, on the same topic, right? So advanced promises patterns basically allow for chaining sequential tasks or running multiple tasks in parallel using promise.all or promise.race. Again, I'm telling advanced promise patterns allow for chaining sequential tasks. Advanced promises patterns basically they allow for the chaining sequential tasks or running multiple tasks in parallel using what? Using promise.all or promise.race. Let's try to implement the same thing using the example. Initially, let's go with the chaining of the promises. Then let's see the example parallel execution with promise.all. First one, let's go with the example chaining of the promises. So I'll quickly come here. Let me give here promise dot sorry, I'll just make use of resolve here. Promise dot resolve of let me pass some number 1 in my case. So let's quickly make use of then. I'll just pass value over here. This will be relevant here. If I consider value, I'll just give here value into 2. Let me make use of then again. So here, let me pass the value again. So here, I'll just give value plus 3. So finally, what I'll do, I'll just come here. Let me quickly give your result. Console log of. I'll just pass the result over here. So the output that we need to get here is we have passed 1 here, right? The value that we are considering here is 1 then. 1 into 2 will be 2 and 2 plus 3 next it will be 5. It has to be 5. So I'll quickly explain what I have written here. So promise.resolve, this one what I have considered here, this one it initializes a promise with the value 1. We can clearly see here. It initializes the promise with the value 1. That's what I have passed here, the value 1. And dot then, which I have made use of here after this one. What this is doing basically, this modifies the result sequentially. So as I have said, the output has to be 1 into 2 is nothing but 2 plus 3. This is nothing but 5. Let's try running the code. So yeah, we are getting the output 5, right? So this is the simple example of chaining promises or promise chaining. You can just please do, I insist you to try out with the different examples so that you can you'll have the proper idea of making use of this thing, promise chaining. Not only promise chaining, I have said this multiple times while I go with certain examples. It is just for the video sake. I'm telling again, it is just for the video sake. Please do try out with the harder examples or the examples which are slightly tricky, right? There are certain things which are slightly tricky. So please try out with such kind of examples so that your concept will be crystal clear, right? So this is the simple example of promise chaining or chaining promises. Next, let's see the same example with the parallel execution with promise.all. Let me delete this one very quickly. So we are seeing the example parallel execution with promise.all, right? So I'll just consider the variable p1. Here in my case, I'll just give promise dot. Let me quickly give here promise dot resolve and pass the value 1 here. And let me consider the variable p2 and let me quickly give here promise dot. Sorry, again, I'll just consider resolve itself. Let's pass the value 2 here. So let me quickly make use of promise.all here and pass P1 and P2 within the array. Variables P1 and P2 within the array. And then we can make use of then. I'll just pass here results or res. I'll just pass results itself, as this is relevant keyword here, right? So I'll just quickly log something. I'll just give you a console log of have considered results, right? Yeah, I'll just give here results. So if I try running the code, I have to get the output 1 and 2 because the value we have passed within the promise.resolve here. This one is 1 and 2, right? When we are considering promise.all, the value 1 and 2 we have to get within the array because we are passing this within the array, right? And we are trying to log the results. So we have to get the output 1 and 2 within the array. Let's try running the code. Yeah, we are getting the output 1 and 2. So quickly I'll explain what I have done here. So promise.all I have used here, right? This one, it waits for all the promises to resolve. Again, I'm telling this promise.all what I have used here, this waits for all the promises to get resolved. The results are aggregated in the array as we have made use of the array here. Again, I'm telling the results are aggregated into the array. What does promise.all here doing? So it waits for all the promises to get resolved. The second thing is the results are aggregated into the array as we can clearly see here. So this is it for the um, parallel execution with promise.all and the chaining promises. Basically, this is it for the concept advanced promises patterns such as chaining and the parallel execution. So I hope the concept of advanced promises patterns with chaining and parallel execution is completely clear. Next, we will be discussing about the understanding async context propagation. So for now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.